I've been meaning to do this for a while, a little video tour of the place where I'm living, because I've given hints here and there and maybe even shared a few photos, especially if they feature a coyote like that one, being Mama Luna. Now granted, Mama Luna's not that big, so it really shows you how small the beach is, but maybe you'll agree with me that it's worth it for the view. What you see there on the left is Volcán Tolimón, and on the right is Volcán Atitlán, and they're towering over Lago de Atitlán. But if I go just a little bit to the right, we have, that's right folks, a third volcano. That would be San Pedro. I feel a little guilty capturing Luna during her afternoon bath, so let's turn around. And this is the little sliver of paradise I'm renting here. Okay, it's a little bit of a climb, but technically it still qualifies as lakeside. In fact, what's great is plenty of room for tents, plenty of room for friends. We have not one, not two, not three, but literally 4 little campgrounds, all included in this property. What I love is the middle campground gets shade most of the day. We have privacy on one side, compliments of 2-year-old bamboo growth and banana trees. And then we have privacy on the other side, usually more than now, but only about half the corn is still alive, so actually the corn on the other side of the property is half gone. But the next house is further up the hill, so actually what you're seeing there is just a little shower house or a little guest house. On the other side of the bamboo, a beautiful garden, and on the other side of that one, another beautiful garden. That's why I chose this property more than any other reason, because there's lots of lakeside properties, but not a lot that are surrounded by land. Most would be surrounded by, I don't know, Guatemalan families or tourists. So I also love that the other direction, in other words, on the other side of the house, is a huge cliff. I mean, it would take me, right now, a few hours to get up there. At night or first thing in the morning when the sun isn't up, I could probably do it in about 90 minutes. But that's a pretty high cliff. In fact, we're surrounded by pretty high cliffs because this entire lake is surrounded by not only volcanoes but pretty high cliffs. Now why is that? Because Lake Atitlán, Lago de Atitlán, used to be a supervolcano. So actually those cliffs are the edge, the lips of that supervolcano. We're talking hundreds of thousands of years ago, if not hundreds of millions of years ago. Now, this is technically not my trampoline. It's here for the owner's family so they can come and enjoy the lake on the weekends, but it is a great place at night when the kids aren't here to lay down and stargaze. So we even have 2 little bonus areas where you could fit a tent for 1 or 2 or a little teepee or something like that. This is the back of my house. What we're seeing is actually the back of the outdoor kitchen and dining area here. Great place for preparing a meal and sharing it with several friends. You just have to look out for the ants. These tiny little ants, the first time they gang up on you, you'll never forget it. You learn to look out for them. Yeah, but there's some nice art on the wall. And a view of 2 of those 3 volcanoes. Really can't go wrong. And then it's a 2-bedroom house, so very bare bones. I literally just got the keys today, so this was meant to be the vacation home for people who I've really newly reconnected with. Although right now it's hard to lure anybody, even by offering tickets. But maybe this video will help. If I don't drop the phone. I was just saying, maybe this video will help if I don't drop the phone. Do inside one. So there are 3 other cabins actually for rent between my house and the street. Which I also really like because right now there are no reservations after this week. So there's a good chance of privacy, but also if suddenly I had a bunch more friends or even family that wanted to come. So this is bedroom number 1 is the finished bedroom. It has a nice wooden ceiling and a half private bathroom. The only furniture are some shelves. You learn not to need that much else here. What I really love about these 2 rooms is that they have 2-way glass, so people can't see in during the day, but at night when your light is on, they would be able to see in, so that's why when you want your curtains. But out of this one, we can see kind of in the other direction. This is towards the east, over those cornfields. And just a little bit to the right is the most beautiful park on the whole lake, if not in all of Central America, this beautiful nature reserve, where most people go for the trampoline experience, which is a platform that sits about 40 feet above the water to scare the living crap out of you. Laguna. So the other bedroom is even more bare bones because it was never quite finished, so it doesn't have the wooden ceiling. Oops. And where that room has a double bed that has just the twin, no shelves, nothing, we're talking bare bones. And if Brenda's watching this, the idea is that this, I can pay some friends to install a ceiling with soundproofing and to soundproof the walls and add straw mats to the floor. Since it only has 1 window, like the other room, and 1 door, the idea is that maybe 1 entire corner, initially we'd have 1 corner set up so that 2 people with guitars, keyboards, and such could jam. Or maybe set the bed up like a Murphy bed there. The Murphy bed would come down from the wall for guests if we wanted to, or maybe the twin bed goes in the other room. Then there's 1 full bed and 1 twin bed and 1 full bed in 1 room. This room remains completely empty, aside from it does have 3-prong plugs, and this whole space, which is about maybe I'd say 12 feet by 10 feet, could be the recording studio / meditation room. In Guatemala, it's only going to cost me a few $100s for both materials and labor to soundproof this space. And I mean, listen right now. I'm not hearing much. Another reason I chose this location, this house is between towns. So we have the town of San Marcos on the other side of those hills. And then about equidistant in the other direction, maybe a little bit further, is the town of San Pablo, which is actually uphill. And on either side of us, we have vacation properties and semi-abandoned, if not completely abandoned, wellness centers and such. What's been happening is they've been increasingly building up into the hills for the views. So now the gringos that own property here have mostly bought the property on the hills. And those are the properties on Airbnb, which means the older properties like this one and closer to the lake, more bare bones, these are not available on Airbnb. You need to be local to even discover them. So, yeah, anyway, just completing the tour. So if we walk past the house, past the 3 rental cabañas, it's just a little ways past those to the street. This is the main street that connects about half the towns on Lake Atitlan. So you can drive or walk this road or catch a tuk-tuk, that's what we're hearing now, maybe, or a van. From here you can see this is the property next door. Different stepped levels of gardens and grass. Beside us, stepped levels of corn, wildflowers, and some random coffee trees. That's Volcano San Pedro, the other side of our trees, which keep our houses nice and cool. The other two volcanoes. Now I think I hear a tuk-tuk, which is the local taxi going by. So those taxis go between all the towns for 5 to 10 quetzal, which is about 47 cents or $1.33 to go quite a ways in a little tuk-tuk. And you can see just across the street is where the cliffs are. So the first time I started coming here to this area 6 years ago, there were no houses at all. But now you're starting to see all of these houses pop up, going all the way up the cliff. So that's a taste. That's a good 11 minutes. If I take just a few minutes more, I can show Paradiso. Now it's very hilly going between these towns because we're already working our way up those cliffs, up the sides of the supervolcano. So what I like to do is walk along the lake, because on the lake there's virtually no altitude, or what am I trying to say? There's virtually no contour. You're flat around the surface of the lake. And so I can walk between these towns in about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on my health and the weather, you know, where the sun is and such. Luna. But it's way more fun with a coyote at your side. And if there's anyone that likes this property better than me, it'd be Mama Luna. Because she loves altitude for vista, to look for predators and prey, but she also loves to swim. And here you get the best of both worlds every damn day. Buena Luna. Buena Mama.